right, Ms. Pohl, tell me about the class. I've been in to see a couple times, and I believe it's juniors. Could you just tell me a little bit about the class?
They're juniors, and it's American literature, and they are currently in the middle of the foundations of American literature, so things like Native Americans, explorers, Puritan, and slave literature.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into some of these questions that I gave to you earlier. To which part of your curriculum does this lesson relate to?
Okay.
So is this your lesson plans that you're going to be using? So let's take a look at these real quick.
That's part of the unit.
Okay.
And they're going to be
Great.
doing quite a bit of that.
So how does this learning fit in with the sequence of learning for the class?
So our English department uses curriculum maps from the Common Core.
Okay.
So this directly is guided by what they suggest in the Common Core.
Okay.
So I'm just going by that right now.
So the Common Core, the stuff that was given to you, do the other language arts people use that as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And that is stuff that next year when they're doing the park assessment, hopefully will apply straight to this curriculum that you're using, hopefully?
Yeah.
Is that how it's supposed to work?
Yep.
Okay. So briefly describe the students in this class, including those with special needs. How many students are in the class?
There are 25 students.
Okay.
I would say most of them are partially proficient in language arts as far as reading and writing. I'd say only 3 or 4 are above proficiency, which makes it a little bit challenging. But overall, as far as attitudes and things like that, they're really great kids. So.
And there are a couple kids that are special ed, is that correct? Okay. What are your learning outcomes for this lesson? What do you want the students to learn?
Well, that's a lot to talk about, but
What will the lesson
basically,
look like next week?
we're going to be doing a lot of reading, writing, geared towards understanding point of view from different cultures.
Great.
So
And you'll use the Native American stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
we're going to do it'll probably, by the time you're here, we'll be finishing the slave story and moving into more Puritan
Okay.
literature.
How will you engage the students in learning? What will you do? What will the students do?
Engagement for me is helpful when I'm passionate about what I do, as well as breaking it up. So we do a lot of like 15-minute block segments of the class, just so that it keeps going and they're there.
So have you found the 80 minutes, that's one of the best methods to be able to endure the 80-minute block period is to break it up and,
Yeah.
have different activities? So next week we'll see some writing activities, some direct instruction.
Right, you're going to see probably some kind of warm-up or introduction to get them started and get them kind of settled into class, followed by kind of what the main deal is for the day. Then we'll get into groups, do some reading together. They're going to do some discussion within their groups and some synthesis, and we'll come back as a class and talk about it. And then it'll be followed by a conclusion, like a wrap-up.
And in that there'll be some writing activities?
Yeah, and throughout is writing.
Yeah, that's awesome. How will you differentiate instruction for different individuals or groups of students in the class?
It depends on the writing assignment. Sometimes I'll adjust notes for them.
Okay.
This time I doubt I will do that, just because I know what it is and I know that it doesn't need to be adjusted.
Okay.
I also have them in groups according to ability. So like a partially proficient kid's going to be in a group with a proficient kid, or like a scored kid that's a little, I try to mix it up so there's some kids with more strength that can kind of help.
How and when will you know whether the students have learned what you intend them to learn?
I think exit slips are pretty simple, but they let me know what they're getting, and I always ask them to write, what was the most interesting or something that really struck you today, and then I always ask, well, what questions do you have? And usually when I ask the question piece, I find out if there was anything they were afraid to ask, or like they were thinking about something that they just wanted to know. So. That helps.
Is there anything that you would like you would like me to specifically observe during the lesson?
I would like to know how my pacing's going.
Okay,
I tend to lose track of time.
sure.
Even though I'm like chunking things, I'm always running out of time, and I want to see if there's something I'm like maybe taking too much time on. I just want to see what my pacing's like.
Perhaps an adjustment to this
Yeah.
80-minute block period.
Yeah,
Getting
right.
those kinds of things. So when I do come in, I think I gave you one of these sheets where I'm just
Right.
going to check off things pertaining to the CDE standards that we use here in Inglewood. And then I'll also put notes on those.
Cool.
And then I can transfer that to the actual plan that's used in our district. But then I can also give you these notes later. I can make a PDF of those.
Cool.
And so then looking at the calendar, I think we're set for next Tuesday, the 15th,
Okay.
to observe during the first period. Is that
So
gonna work?
they recently told me that the entire language arts department is having professional development on the 15th
Oh.
and 16th.
Maybe
So
we go on the 17th?
17th would work.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thursday. All right, well, we'll switch it up.
Sorry,
No.
they launched that a few days ago. So
That'll work. That's perfect.
Yep.
All right, any questions?
No.
Okay.
Very
Thanks.
sweet. So